Welcome to another episode of Love Living Local 315. We are your hosts, Scott and Kelly Greats, and today we have a repeat guest. He is Anthony Amodio, chef, entrepreneur, and owner of Philomena's Salumeria. I was up all night making sure I got that right. I still don't know if I did. Monarch by Anthony in Utica as well, and from honoring literally century-old family deli legacy to creating unforgettable events and meals. Anthony is blending tradition, hospitality, and heart into everything he builds. Welcome back, my friend.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Listen, I knew this was going to happen, so I'm battling some weight issues in 2026. No. I was battling weight issues before 26. In 26, I decided I got to do something about it. So I hired a personal trainer. We go through this whole routine. Every Tuesday I fast. So Monday I have dinner, and then I don't eat again until lunch on Wednesday. We're recording this on a Tuesday, and Anthony brought everything that I want to eat from his shop just to mess with my head. So I just had to get that out.
Just a few carbs.
It all looks delicious.
Listen, let's go back, right? I mean, you talk about 1919. It's almost like unthinkable to picture that and go back that far, over 100 years. But it was your great grandparents' deli. What does it mean to you to carry on that legacy, that tradition over 100 years later?
It's great. I mean, there are still some things that I haven't done that they used to do in their shop or whatever you want to call it back then. But what I love about it is when you walk into the doorway of Philomena's, on the right you have a picture of both my great-grandparents standing in front of their deli. And the only thing that's left there now, because I think they've turned it into a residence, is the stoop that they were standing on. So that concrete stoop is still there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I have his butcher block from the store that weighs about 500 pounds. Took a couple of big weightlifters to struggle to get it to the shop. But it to me, I remember going there as a child, and I remember the smells, the aromas, and some of the things that stick in my mind that I tried to recreate. Some things I could do there, some things I couldn't because of space or what have you. Mm-hmm. But I did as much as I could. And most of the sandwiches are named after their children, my grandparents, great aunts and uncles. Some of the names of the sandwiches depicts who they were. And even some on my father's side, because I ran out of great aunts and uncles, I went to the other side. When I'm in the shop and I hear somebody say, I'll order a Celeste or an Ida or an Angelo, I hear my family names of people that are no longer with me, but it just gratifies. It's gratifying to hear my father's name, my grandmother's name, my aunt's name, or whatever. So on that list, there's only three people that are still with us. There's only one person in there that's not a relative, and outside of that, who's a buddy of mine, Joe Griffo, Senator Griffo, who loves my stuffed long hots, so I had to have a stuffed long hot sandwich named the Griffo.
I see what you did there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I've always wanted to do this, but I moved away for quite some time, moved back to the area. I was able to just make one of my dreams come true.
Yeah. So not only, we've got Philomena's, you've got Monarch by Anthony. You're still at the curling club.
Mm-hmm.
You moved to the yacht club. How do you manage it all?
Great people, a great partner.
Mm-hmm.
Tammy, who works a lot in the background, but she's the president of my company.
Mm-hmm.
She handles staffing, and I just have a lot of dedicated people. You have to treat them well. You have to pay them well to get them to stay, because this is a small area, and
you find good people, you need
jobs.
To keep them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, let's talk about the word Salumeria.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what makes a true Italian Salumeria experience in your eyes?
Well, the word in Italian, or it means meat and cheese. And so for me, I kind of combine those things in sandwiches and some of the dishes that I create and some of the dishes that we sell there. I don't sell an awful lot of cheese there. I don't have the hanging meats and what have you. That brings in a whole other realm of food experience, weights and measures and what have you. And I just didn't want to get into that end of it because I really wasn't into that throughout my career. It was mostly about creating the food and selling the food instead of taking it down, slicing it, weighing it, and packaging and such. So I kind of used a watered down version of Salumeria with the combined Italian meats, cheeses, and what have you. But a true Salumeria experience, and I get a lot of questions of people asking me, "Are you related to the guy that had it on Brinkerhoff and James?" It was the only Salumeria in town, or that was called a Salumeria. And I walked by there every day on my way to school because I lived on Dudley, and the Salumeria was on Brinkerhoff, which was 1 block away, and our school was on Brinkerhoff. So I remember walking in there with the fresh breads and the tomato pie and the olives and stuff like that. So I wanted to just recreate that experience when people came in. So when I put this together, I said, nothing against any of the other delis that are in town, because there are some great delis. I mean, Roma's, Napoli's, you name it, big old bakery. You walk into their bakeries, and there are certain things I love about each one of them. But I wanted to give Utica a different experience. But on an old kind of favorite.
I love what you've done because now people are so busy. What you're doing is you're taking the finest meats and cheeses and you're putting them together in a sandwich where I can just walk in and get the sandwich instead of going to the deli and getting the meat and the cheese and then the bread and going home and having to make it. That you offer a one-stop shop for everything, and you can just come in, and the convenience and how delicious it is amazing. So I think you've done it well. I think you've put a modern day spin on it that it needs to have for the busyness of everyday life.
Absolutely. And my children were young and they played travel ball. And I just remembered, where I used to live, that there wasn't anywhere that I can run in and just grab something that was wholesome. Not that fast food places aren't wholesome.
They're
but
not.
They're not.
You're getting
okay to say that. They're not.
You don't have to sugarcoat that.
You really question what the food actually is that they're serving.
We were always in line at McDonald's or
Yep.
Wendy's or somewhere, on our way to a soccer game, a baseball game or a basketball game. And I kind of thought to myself, if people just come in the door and they get ready-made lasagna, ready-made pastas, but get some unique items like our stuffed long hots, or you can come in and grab pork cutlets or chicken cutlets or an eggplant stacker and just say, pack it up and just take it home and either heat it up or, but these are unique items that you can take home, heat up, and eat quickly, or you can even eat on the road.
Eat on the road, yeah.
So I thought, this is a great way to kind of like, for what today's lifestyle is all about, for people to come in, get the old experience with a new twist.
Huge.
Yeah, so I shouldn't call it single serving, but that idea, right? We talked about this with my father all the time. He lived the last 20-something years of his life alone. And it's hard for people like that to shop.
But even you and I, you feel there's many nights that if Jenna is working and our boys are away at college, for me to cook a meal for just the two of us, it's so much better for me to just come to your place and have it already done for me.
Yeah, it's ingenious.
I have people that come in and grab meals for the week.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do.
They come in, or I have some people that say, my mom lives alone, but I'm bringing her a week worth of food.
Yes.
I'm bringing her 3 or 4 days worth of food.
Yep.
I've always been afraid to venture out with the staple items: tomato pie, Italian bread. This time of year, Easter cazzata or Easter bread.
Yep.
Those kinds of things kind of scared me, but I brought on people that had a better knowledge of how to put that together.
Mm-hmm.
And they've created some things that, for me, that even, they just knock me over.
And Anthony, I love when you put it out there, even on like social media. Your Facebook page is amazing, and he will say, "What can I have in the shop that I don't have that you want to see there?" And people comment in the comments. It's awesome that you're just willing to branch out and try new things. Like what is the community looking for that I can put in here that will make this a better place? So I love that you ask your customers for suggestions too on things that they want in the shop.
Well, that's what's great about this area. It's small enough that, just about everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the people are not afraid
to tell you
to
exactly
tell me
what they
exactly
want.
what they want.
Most aren't.
or what they don't want.
Like to pay full price.
Absolutely.
Yeah, your social media, the last guest we just had in here, she was talking about branding and marketing, and we were talking about how in this digital world, you have to be human, right? And show your warts and your imperfections and the real life stories, the behind the scenes stuff. And I give you credit. I don't know if you're trying to or it's just authentically you, but you'll let it fly on social, right? Like there's stuff I'm like, I don't know if I should post this. I don't want to ruffle feathers. Anthony just lets it fly. So follow him.
There's the funny thing is where we're located, we have to be a destination.
Yeah.
I don't have 60,000 cars a day, 20,000 cars a day, 10,000 cars a day. I don't even have 5,000 cars a day. And there's some businesses that are on Oriskany Boulevard, Genesee Street, or wherever that have anywhere from 20 to 60,000 cars going by. So I just figured, you know what? I'm going to give Philomena's a personality. If I have to attach myself to that personality, because there are places that I go that people look at me and go, "You're the tomato pie guy. You're the guy who's had the squirrel eat the tomato pie in the tree."
The squirrel is a game changer.
Fantastic.
It's amazing, So if I can touch people in different ways, but also show my experiences with it, the reality of people don't understand what it takes. My social media is a full-time job almost.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Between Monarch and the curling club and the Lake Delta Yacht Club and Philomena's and our outside catering.
Yep.
If you don't keep people in them, if you don't keep your business in the back of people's minds, it does slow down.
Yeah.
It does slow down.
So many things I want to hit here, but let's talk quickly about the location. I mean, obviously you could have went anywhere, right? And you have been everywhere. Why Bag Square? Why that section of town that is a little hidden?
So the tomato pie business took off for me. I didn't expect it to take off the way it did. And I couldn't produce anymore. And my friend, lifelong friend, Rich Vitti, who owned Utica Bread and at one time owned Hemstraughts. And at one time, I believe he was vice president or president of the Oreo Bakery. His location, he had his location, that was his location. And he said, "Why don't you come on down and maybe we can work something out to where, we can produce these tomato pies." And then, and I said, "Well, I have an idea to top that." And so we just started out slowly. And he has since sold Utica Bread to Hemstraughts. And that location was coming up. And I said, "Well, let's try it." It scared me a little bit. I have a lot of older people that say, "Oh my God, I don't want to go all the way down there, the train station area or whatever." Well, listen, when I lived in North Utica, my parents lived on the Parkway and they would call me and say, We're not coming all the way to North Utica." It's just, people don't want to travel sometimes, no matter what. But when it comes to that location, I had to do a lot of marketing myself with taking my product and bringing it to the businesses close within a 5-mile radius, 7-mile radius. And what I would do is I would take the product and say, "We're opening here." Then I would go to the train station where all the county offices were, and I'd walk in there and say, "Here, try this tomato pie. Here, try that. We're going to be opening soon." I did the same thing at Pacemaker, which was right across the street. They were my base, 5 to 7 miles. You can't, And then I went to other businesses, other restaurants, other restaurant owners that I know, and said, if you want this wholesale, try it. And so my wholesale business has picked up. But I just felt as though all the equipment was there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was able to, involve that in how I started my business there.
So now, do you take orders ahead of time for like lunches and stuff, sandwiches?
Yes.
Have them ready. That's what
I'm
you
not
suggest,
on Uber.
right?
I'm not on DoorDash or anything.
or whatever.
I probably would increase my business if I did.
Mm-hmm.
That's coming up next.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, between all the businesses, I'm on the road a lot.
Yeah.
I'm in and out a lot.
I'm sure.
I'm not easy to work for because I like things a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very hard not to be there all day and then all of a sudden walk in and see something and have to correct it and then go back through the door to go do something else.
But Italian food, it's deeply tied to culture, family, and authenticity, from the sauces to the way you make a sandwich to anything. So this brings us back to your team and the people that you have in there and why they're so important to all of your different businesses.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the things that I've done is I've hired up. And I have 3 gentlemen that used to, that went to Johnson & Wales.
Mm-hmm.
And all 3 knew each other. So, when I'm talking to them, they have more of an understanding of food than I do. They break it down a lot better than I do. But I have the taste profile.
Yeah.
So when I hand them a spoon after I make it and I say, it needs to taste like this every time you do it.
Yeah.
For me, that's how I teach them, how I want them to make things consistently.
Okay.
So they're walking around with spoons.
Because consistency is a hard thing. You have to have this, but from your meatballs to your sauces to everything.
Absolutely.
And you do that very well.
Yeah, I mean, let's stay there because you don't do what you do in the town that you're in. I love your sweatshirt, by the way.
Yeah.
That's where
Thanks.
my story begins, Utica, New York, right?
I wore this on purpose.
I'm sure you did. I feel like
great.
everything you do is on purpose. And then you kind of play it off like, no big deal, right? But you don't do what you do in the town like this as long as you have without quality, right? Period. I'm not just saying this. We're not blowing smoke. Like your food is tremendous. I mean, we've had multiple just chance encounters, right? From birthday parties to different events where and
graduation parties.
We went to our son graduated last year. We had like 30 different graduation parties. 2 of them we couldn't eat enough. They were the 2 you catered, right?
For sure.
I mean, so your food is fantastic.
Thank you.
And so from a scaling standpoint, right, that's not easy. And I sense you're a little bit of a control freak, right? You said I'm not easy to work for. But let's talk about the diversity, right? Because a lot of people are good at 1 or 2 things. Just on this table, I'm looking at cakes and cookies and breads, and we're talking about the staples, and we'll get into the tomato pie in a minute. How hard is that to spread out into all these different areas?
Again, it's the people.
Yeah.
I have 2 women that do all of my baking as far as the pastries or the Easter breads or cheesecakes and cookies and such. Then I have another baker who does all of my breads, and we kind of experiment with that as we go along. Then I have a gentleman who works, and we call it our commissary kitchen, who handles all of my sauces and all of my ready-made meals that we sell at the Salumeria. So he's at another location making that in one of our kitchens. So, and then I have the guys that are at Monarch that are putting on the events.
Right.
So it's easy if you give them their responsibilities. And Sundays when I do my ordering and I meet with them and I have lists and lists and lists of what we have for the week, it's not easy.
I'm sure.
But the people I surround myself with are good people. I can't handle drama, not this late in life. There's a lot of drama tied to the restaurant business.
Sure.
Yep.
It's the nature of the beast.
Yeah. Hours, stress.
The hours are unbelievably long. My partner is used to the banquet side of the business, and I brought her into the retail and the restaurant side of it. So it wears on you, and you have to know how to recharge. I recharge by taking on something new.
that sounds
my
familiar.
partner Tammy recharges by sleeping 10 hours
Wow.
because she needs to, and I don't blame her for that, because
Right.
I think she needs like a week or two. For me, I've never been one to slow down.
Yeah.
And I believe I said this the first time that we met. What drives me is I lost everything in my life once.
Mm-hmm.
And after I lost everything, I knew what it was like to struggle and come back. And I don't want to feel that again. And so that's why I give back as well, to anybody that needs anything. I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to depend on other people when I can't help myself, or I can only help myself to a certain extent. And then I have to go to someone and say, hey, I need your help. Help me with this idea, or help me with this that I'm lacking in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And there were key people in my life that helped me that I'll never forget. And that's what drives me, is I don't want to go back to that, yet I'll help anybody that's in that situation only because I've been there.
Mm-hmm.
If you are not humbled in this life, then you don't understand what it's like to be successful.
Mm.
And to me, that's the crux of how I live. I wear this shirt that says, it's where my story begins, and it's Utica. But, there are some people out there that own businesses in this town that knock Utica every chance they can.
Yeah.
They knock, whether it doesn't matter who's the mayor, it doesn't matter who the senator is, it doesn't matter what's going on. You have a successful business, yet you want to beat up somebody on Facebook or whatever it is. I had a friend on Facebook that said something to the point where the people that are opening up businesses in downtown Utica are delusional if they think that they're going to be successful and so on, because Utica's dead, and it's, and so on and so forth. And, well, then why are you here?
Yeah.
Why are you here?
Yeah.
I came back to Utica to be with family. I came back to Utica just to do what I love and to see the people I love. If that doesn't make you happy, then, exit.
An amazing country in that way, right? We can travel wherever. You don't have to
Absolutely.
be here.
Yeah. Nobody's telling you have to stay here.
And I've been all over the country with my corporate restaurant job, and I've seen the markets. I didn't even take back with me what I learned from those markets, because I knew enough about Utica and I knew enough about the people to know what to do when I got here.
Yeah.
So what has been your biggest challenge? Like, you've opened up, Philomena's and Monarch, and you're still doing the curling club, and you're still doing the Delta Yacht Club. What's been the biggest challenge with the 2 new locations that you've added?
Cost control.
That was an easy question to answer.
Damn Utica.
Very,
expensive.
very easy.
Yeah.
Cost control.
Yeah.
You have to know your market, and you have to know your limits.
Yep.
Pricing wise. I'm known for larger portions when I cook, when I serve, what have you. Yet, economically, gas prices don't care. Economically, the price of beef they don't care.
Right.
All the staple items. I mean, just in the past couple of weeks, peppers have gone from $28 a case to $56 a case. That's double. How do you make that up? You can't raise your prices.
It is tough.
This might be an off the
And
record.
because you're still putting out a product that you need to be proud of, but at the same time, you can't lose money on it, or it's not a good beneficial
It's
business.
unreal.
Jay might cut this, but I mean, how much of that is price gouging? Honestly, like why is the price of a pepper doubled in 6 months?
Just because of the weather, the weather or bad crops. Well, here's a perfect example: wings.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, wings is a great example.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Chicken wings have come so far down, yet people haven't reduced their prices.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when I sell wings at the curling club, I still keep them between $10 and $12.
Yep.
Some people are getting 18. You go to a restaurant, it's 18,
It is crazy.
$19 for a dozen wings.
Yeah, it's over
And I'm saying to
$1 a
myself,
wing.
okay, that's the one thing, people come into the deli and they say, wow, your prices are pretty reasonable. When people came into Monarch, a lot of their regular customers that they had, they didn't have the overhead I have now because the building was paid for. It was
Right.
family
Right.
and such. So I had to go in and I had to increase the prices, in order to make it work. And, there are some people that were upset that I raised the price $2 a person, for particular buffets or whatever.
Right.
And then I look back on it and I say, okay, you have 100 people. It's $200 more. That's all it is. And you're spending, $5,000, $4,000, whatever it is,
Right.
$10,000.
Yeah.
But, so cost control is the biggest issue. It's not employees. I have a lot of people that come to me in the business and say, I don't know how you do it because I can't keep a dishwasher, I can't keep a cook, or I can't keep whatever. I've got some very loyal people. And like I said, if you pay them well, treat them well, you just, you're able to be kind of successful. It's the pricing of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
People don't realize how much food is.
Yeah.
I mean, and they go to a grocery store or go out to dinner and you spend we spend a minimum of $100 or more for two people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's the norm now.
Yeah.
That's the norm.
Well, and not to beat this point, but I'll bring it up again with fast food. I think part of the problem is, when you can get 20 chicken nuggets for $7.99, you got to stop and wonder, like, what the hell is that? That's
It's not a chicken nugget.
I mean, so when price is a little fishy, you start wondering what you're putting in your body. All right, let's talk about something really exciting. I'm going to use the word audacity. You used the word scared earlier. The tomato pie, right? I mean, we talk all the time, Utica greens and Riggies and tomato pie. The audacity of you to come in and think you can have a superior tomato pie in this town. How scary, is that? And, by the way, so full disclosure, we did a little tomato pie contest before we met you. We brought all these high school kids together and we ordered 6 or 7 different, tomato pies from 6 or 7 different places. And I think you gave us crap, rightfully so. You're like, hey, you didn't have mine in the taste test. And, looking back at it, we didn't even know about it.
Well, and now it's amazing because you're in Shenantries and you have your tomato pies out there. And I brought home one of your tomato pies, and it is uniquely different, and I love it.
It is.
I absolutely love
So
it.
talk about, entering that space and how do you make something that's so good even better? Because you really have.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. It was just a mistake. While we were catering, we had some people that just said, we'd like tomato pie. And I said, okay, well, I can either buy it or I can attempt to make it. So I made it and people were like, wow, this is great, and so on. And I said, okay, let me see if I can perfect this a little bit. And I worked on it. But I worked on it only when a party wanted it or I made a suggestion. How about it? Then I forgot what I was putting in it. So I scrambled and I was like, oh, crap. I can't find what I put in it. I never write anything down.
Yep.
It's always the way I cook is it's this and this.
And then you taste it. And
Absolutely.
If you need a little bit more
Again,
of something.
taste profile.
Yeah, exactly.
And so when I had to employ people to help me make it, there's only a few people, 3 or 4 people that have the recipe. Now my guys that make it have spice bags that are made by only 2 individuals, myself and one other guy.
Yeah.
So we put the spice bags together, and all they do is enter the spice bag along with wine and oil and some things. So they don't know how much spice is in there or what spices are in there.
Yeah.
And I messaged my kids and said, here's my recipe.
Here's the spice bag.
So if anything ever happens to me, you want to do something, do whatever.
That's a fantastic story.
So, I was always afraid to make it because I felt as though tomato pie was the staple in this town. There are people that will call me and say, you've got the greatest tomato pie. And then you've got some people that will call me and say, it wasn't like it was last week or whatever. And I'm like, well, take a look at the date on them or whatever. Because if you get day old, it's going to be different. Any tomato pie that you get day old is
texture
going to
changes.
taste.
It's just different.
For sure. But the tomato pie for me, I would love to branch out into frozen tomato pie and such, but I've had some of the frozen tomato pies and I have taken the tomato pie and I did freeze it and then I stuck it in the oven after and it came out pretty decent.
I have got a tip for people that if you have day old tomato pie, the best thing to do is if you have a Blackstone
skillet.
You put that tomato pie right on the Blackstone. It gets nice and crunchy. It's even better the second day.
Especially for me, the secret for me is the oil content of the crust.
Yes.
And that's what makes ours.
It's really, really good, Anthony. It's really good.
All right, there's the answer. A happy mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
I like it.
It was.
Yeah. Now listen, you mentioned texting the recipe to your kids. Last time you were on, we asked you what's next. Where does this thing go? And I'm going to see if your answer has changed in a couple of years. You said when Anthony Amodio dies, so too does Anthony Amodio catering and the restaurants. Is that changed?
I'm not sure. The only reason why I say that is, my daughter's involved in the business.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But she's mostly front of the house. And my partner's children are not involved in it. They have other things. So it either gets, I would either close it or sell it or do whatever. I mean, I can't keep doing this forever. I did this later in life because I'm always looking for the next challenge. So, and that's the reason for me, the next challenge is always adding different products. Because if I take on one more business, some family members are probably going to kill me.
You know who you are.
Yes, absolutely. You miss a lot of family functions.
Yeah.
You miss a lot of life happenings because of my passion. But my passion has also turned into my life. And, so I think whoever carries on the business or whether I carry it on, it gets carried on or it closes. I just want to leave some sort of legacy of people remembering the way I remember my great-grandparents' deli. My great-grandparents, my grandparents, they didn't have a lot of monetary things. But what they left me with was a memory of family and food. And those two things combined, whether it was a death, a celebration, or whatever it was, you were always surrounded by family and food. So for me, my entertainment, my extracurricular activities are surrounded by customers coming in, me interacting with customers, being with customers that are friends or family or people I don't know in their time of grief, in their time of celebration, whatever it is. Some of those people have become family members of mine that weren't even family members because we were able to cater to them and be human, but give them family and food.
Yeah.
So, that to me is the most important part of my business.
We do Sunday dinner every Sunday at my house. And my sister comes, my niece, my nephew, my parents, Scott's mother. And if I did not do that, there would be weeks that would go by because of the busyness of our families where we would not see each other. And I love it. I love that they come to my house and I get to cook and we get to hang out. Some days, I mean, my nephew is there just to eat and he's like, bye, Aunt Kelly, I need to go. And I'm like, that's fine. I'm just so excited to see you for the day. So, and the other thing that I want to get into is Monarch is a beautiful facility for events that you need a space for. But you also do personal events as well, even small dinner parties. Like it's too funny. We talked about this before we got on the interview that we showed up to a friend of ours, his birthday party, and who walks in with the food, but Anthony. And I was like, that's brilliant. That if you're hosting like a dinner party of like 10, 12 friends, why wouldn't you have the food, delicious food, pre-made and delivered right to your home? So I want people to know that you also offer that as a service.
We go further than that, not just delivering the food. But we've done dinner parties of 10, 12, where I'm just the personal chef.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'll create the meals right there for you.
Oh, that's amazing.
So, we'll do just about anything.
Oh, that's great. I didn't even know that.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to press you on this, but I am curious how you figured out how do you get like 36 hours out of a 24-hour day? Like,
how are you doing this
You can't
all?
sleep, right?
I sleep very little.
He said that in the first interview. That he doesn't sleep that much.
I don't sleep that much. I'll wake up in the middle of the night thinking of an idea.
Sure.
And I'll pre-post it, and I won't send it until it's a little bit earlier or a little bit later, only because I feel like it'll get lost in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a bunch of I'm on the go constantly. It's just something that has been a part of my personality my whole life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the older I get, it wears on you a little bit.
Yeah. Well, we have about 6 minutes.
We got a rapid fire.
We got a rapid fire.
Yeah.
Although we could do this. I mean, this is last night we were sitting on the couch together, and I go, we don't have any info on Amodio. Like,
I go, are you kidding
there's
me?
no intake
This is
form.
going to be no problem.
I go, what are we going to do for questions?
He goes, we're really going to do this on the fly? I go, absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
For sure.
And we winged it and we can keep going, but
I had no fear with this
Go
one.
ahead.
Okay. Favorite or one of your favorite Italian sandwiches? That's a hard question for me to answer.
I'm going to tick off some deceased relatives right now. He doesn't pick them.
Anything with meatballs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for meatballs.
Is there a name of that?
Yes, the Mario.
Okay.
And it's named after my grandfather.
Okay.
But the most popular sandwich at Philomena's is called the Vinny, which is named after my great uncle Vinny. And that is a chicken cutlet with vodka sauce and provolone cheese. That's the number one seller.
Okay.
The Mario is number 2.
Okay.
One ingredient you can't live without.
Garlic.
Yeah,
Mine's salt.
I was reading your mind on the garlic.
I'm a salt person. I can't live without salt. Sunday sauce or gravy?
Sunday sauce.
Yeah,
that was a
me too.
softball. We probably could have eliminated that one. Favorite meal growing up?
Meatloaf.
No.
Oh, okay. Early mornings at the deli or late nights catering?
Late nights catering.
One word that describes your cooking style.
Controlled chaos.
We'll give you 2. You've earned it.
Best advice you've ever received?
My father just told me to learn about the people, not so much about the product.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you have the product and you don't know how to control the people, or you don't know how to interact with the people, then the product means nothing. The product can sell because of its quality. The product will sell itself. But if you can enhance it by knowing how to bring the people, then that's
Great advice.
Yeah.
You get a lot of compliments on your food. What's one that stands out? Something maybe that was more meaningful.
There's a similar one that I get on a regular basis, and it's either your sauce or your meatballs or some product that people will say it reminds me of my mother's, and she's no longer with us, or reminds me of my grandmother's, and I've been trying to recreate it, and you've recreated it for me. Those kinds of things.
What would your great-grandparents say if they walked into Philomena's today?
My great-grandparents were adoring people. Their whole life was family. I would suspect they would probably be doing the same thing that my 85-year-old mother does, and that is telling me how I can probably do things a little bit better in the areas that I don't do so well in.
Yeah.
My mother is my brother and my biggest, not critic, but, she challenges us.
That's good.
He's been in the restaurant business as long as I have,
Mm-hmm.
and she has no qualms about picking up the phone or texting us and saying, hey, listen, I had a piece of your whatever, and I think it was a little dry. Or I think it was a little this, or I think it was a little that, and
Well, they say it with
9
love.
out of 10
Yeah.
times. And that's who this is named after.
Yep.
So
Yeah. I love that your 85-year-old mother texts. That's fantastic. Her name is Philomena. The Salumeria is Philomena's, and you've got so many different things going on. Like we talked about, you do them at such a high level. And when we talk about salt of the earth and just genuine and authentic people, I don't know if anyone fits that bill more than you, Anthony. So,
Or Utica.
yeah.
Yep.
So thank you for all you do and
I
bringing us
appreciate
together
it.
as family and with food.
super, and enjoy the goodies.